copy of the petition, the original petition you filed before this Honorable Commission?
Yes, it is. This petition was dated 30th June 1999 and addressed to Chairman / Secretary National Human Rights Abuses and Violation Investigation Panel, Abuja.
Here's a copy. Exhibit 1.
Protest against the extrajudicial murder of 6 Igbo traders at Kaduna on 6th February 1996. I wish to protest vehemently to your panel against the extrajudicial killing on 6th February 1996 of 6 Igbo traders at Pantika Market, Kaduna, by the Kaduna State Police Command on false and malicious allegation that there were armed robbery suspects trying to escape from lawful custody. The men were not armed robbers, neither were they trying to escape from any custody. The victims were genuine traders trading on the same line in Pantika Market, Kaduna. Files of the mysterious death were as follows. Names of victims: 1. Mr. Samuel Okong, age 40 years, married with 5 children. He was an indigenous of Manandiag in the local government area of Enugu State. Lived at number Q4 Rock Road, Tudunpawa, Kaduna. His office shop were at number 886-887 Old Pantika Market, Kaduna, where he sold scrap metals. The wife was pregnant at the time he was killed. The police withdrew 188,600 from his savings account at Citizen Bank, Kano, and removed billions of naira from his office on the day of his arrest, being 31st January 1996. Police also went to his residence and raided the place, removing telephone sets, rug carpets, standing mirror, documents of title to land, TV sets, video and remote, refrigerator, sheds, wall clock. Took him captive to Kano and withdrew all substantial amount from his current account with Citizen Bank Limited, Kano branch, leaving only 4,000 in the account. 2. Mr. Patrick Ebu, he was aged 45 years, married with 5 children. He was an indigenous of Umanandiag in the local government area of Enugu State. He lived at number 2 Hilltop Avenue, Badarawa New Extension, Kaduna. His office shop was at number 883 Old Pantika Market, Kaduna. Police also raided his shop, removing all vital property and 500,000 naira cash. Mr. Joseph Oka, for he was aged 35 years, married with 2 children, and also an indigenous of Umanandiag in the local government area of Enugu State. He lived at Kawo Road, Tudunpawa, Kaduna, and his office shop at number 786 Old Pantika Market, Kaduna. On the morning of that day of the arrest, he came back from business trip from Onitsha with a bank draft from Bright Street branch of Bank of the North, Onitsha, and carried the same amount from Bank of the North, Kaduna on 31st January 1996. This amount of money was taken from him by the police from Angwa Sanusi police station, along with his executive traveling bag. His traveling ticket for that day was also shown to the police that he was away from Kaduna when the alleged robbery took place. Number 4, Mr. Celestino Okolo, he was aged 30 years and was the cashier to late Mr. Samuel Okong. He was also a native of Umana and Diago, and he was my in-law. Number 5, Mr. Ignatius Oyekachi, he was aged 35 years old, married with 2 children, and native of Umumbandiag in the Zag local government area of Enugu State. He lived at number 5 Damusa Road, Kaduna, with his shop at number 889 Old Pantika Market, Kaduna. Police removed 250,000 from his shop. Mr. Chukwu Dojuku, he was aged 37 years, married with 5 children. He lived at Muri Road, Kaduna. More than 300,000 naira was taken from him by the police. The arrest of Mr. Samuel Okongwu and others was instigated by one Corporal Augustine Party of Angwasanusi Police Station, Kaduna, due to a previous quarrel between him and late Mr. Samuel Okongwu 10 days prior to the date of the killed men. The cause of the quarrel was that the said Corporal Augustine came to the shop of the deceased Samuel Okongwu, where scrap metals bought at auction from Nigerian railway station Kaduna were being offloaded, and demanded money for cold water and was given 20 naira. He felt insulted that only 20 naira was given to him. He later emerged with 5 other policemen and carried away the materials to Metropolitan State Police Station on false allegation of suspected goods. The goods were subsequently released by the orders of Assistant Commissioner of Police, Metro Station. The said Augustine exchanged hot words with Mr. late Samuel Okongwu, and he, Augustine, boasted that he would disgrace him somewhere in this town, that he has locked him up before and he will deal with him again. On the 31st January 1996, policemen, about 20 in number, came in company of one notorious criminal by name Chiedu, who had committed robbery at Angwasanusi area, and pointed at Mr. Patrick Egu, Chukwudi Ojukwu, and Celestine Okoro in front of Alhaji Shehu Ibrahim Bootman shop, and at once started beating them. By then, they asked Chinedu Mane to point out more men, and he headed straight to late Mr. Samuel Okongwu's office. Then the police immediately cut off all the telephone wires in the office and arrested Mr. Samuel Okongwu, Ignatius Oyekachi, and Mr. Joseph Okafu, and one Miss Joy Ewele. Mr. Okongwu's sales girl and her visitor were also arrested. They immediately started beating them, and Mr. Samuel's leg was broken. He was carried into police vehicle to Angwasanusi Police Station, where the almighty corporal works. On getting to the police station, the desk sergeant expressed surprise at seeing the wealthy men as suspects in robbery case, and told the men who brought them that he was given 4 Hausa names as suspects in the robbery earlier on, and now wondered why the police ended up bringing 6 Igbo traders from Pantika Market. The same Corporal Augustine Party asked the duty officer to shut up and not concern himself with that point, and enter the case in the diary. The case was transferred to State CID office the same day for further investigation. The truth was that the corporal had earlier on taken the counsel of one notorious armed bandit at Pantika by name Sani Master, who works in collaboration with Deputy Commissioner of Police Abubakar Suleiman, who always sent his boys to identify for him wealthy men who will put on false charge in order to cover huge sums of money to the police to save themselves. It was gathered also that the same Deputy Commissioner of Police made a demand of 400,000 to buy a bus for his wife from late Mr. Samuel Okongwu, who failed to assist him to raise the money. Because of a robbery incident which took place at his woman friend house by name Haji Alila Dogonyalo at Kaduna, he planned with his boy Augustine to rope the metal dealers at the Pantika into the case in order to extort money from them. And in fact, the case was planned at Deputy Commissioner's house at Kaduna. State managed identification parade was conducted for the Haji Dogonyalo to implicate the 6 traders, which was successfully done. The police demanded 600,000 naira each from the suspect, which they could not afford at the time. Abubakar Suleiman ordered DSP Ibrahim Dashe, Isuzu, Corporal Augustine, Sergeant Kura, Corporal Aruna to take the Igbos out for escort execution in bracket. Later, Mr. Samuel Okongwu was taken from detention at police station Kurumashi in Kaduna. Late Mr. Ignatius Oyekachi from Kabala police station. The remaining 4 suspects from State CID cell and taken to Nasarawa outskirts in Kaduna on 6 February 1996 and shot in cold blood. Their bodies were dropped at Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital in Kaduna, where myself and families of other deceased persons confirmed their names from the mortuary register. Their corpses were denied us, and we don't know where they buried them. In spite of pleadings from well-meaning Nigerians to spare the lives of these innocent victims, Hajiya Leila Dogonyaro went ahead to the late head of state, General Sani Abacha, and got a letter to kill innocent Igbo traders because she was related to the head of state. I am a younger brother to the first victim, Mr. Samuel Okongu in bracket, and I can go to any length to prove his innocence. Other witnesses are Mr. Oliver Oyekachi, Mr. Patrick Egu, Mr. Stanley Ozoko, Simon Obozo, all in Pantika Market, Kaduna, and many others. This particular incident of 6 February 1996 was the greatest injustice of our present time. In order to confirm my write-up, let the panel follow the following tips. This is what I said while writing this petition. Cross-checking Wasanus police station, crime diary of 29 to 30 January 1996 to find out the original suspect name before Igbo traders were substituted for money's sake. In which court or tribunal were they tried and convicted, and who signed their death warrants? Were all the suspects trying to escape at the same time from their different places of detention, as claimed by the police in their public announcement? Were they not all carved and leg-chained? I traveled with Mr. late Joseph Okafo in the same bus to Onitsha on 28 January 1996, and in fact sold our goods in the same place and prepared bank drafts in the same bank of the North Bright Street branch Onitsha to Kaduna. How is it possible that he took part in a robbery at Kaduna in his absence? Police should tender the search warrants executed at late Mr. Samuel Okongu's office and residence to show instruments of violence as SB recovered from him or any of the suspects. What were the items they robbed and from who? Police to produce their statement duly signed. Who are Zakai and Yusuf, serving at Kaduna prisons, whose former residents were at number 1 Libadu Christian, to the Power Kaduna? What part did they play in the crime in which innocent Igbo traders were killed? I said, I want the government of the day to protect me first from the murderers who will be after my life for unraveling their secrets. Also to punish the culprits because it was deliberate state policy as well as individual acts of agents of the states, and they finally extend hands of fellowship to the victim's family. Wishing you good luck in upholding justice. Yours sincerely, Inspector Christian Okongu, retired. Yes. I also wish to state that this matter was reported in various...
Stop. Now, counsel for the police, look at page 7, so that you prepare your cross-examination against tomorrow. He said, were they all together when we were trying to escape, and they all shot together? In the case, in the advice, legal advice, they used the same language you used. They didn't say what they did. That you concluded was Mrs. Counsel for the Commission. Legal opinion you wrote, what language was used that led them to shooting? There's something they said.
Yeah, my lord, yes, they said
when they took them to the site, they...
Yes, my lord, I'm trying to... The suspects, however, turned violent immediately.
Turned violent, what does that mean? Tomorrow you tell us what turned violent means. And that you had to shoot all of them. The guns were buried in the ground.
My Lord,
yes?
with due respect, my Lord, we wanted to tender a handful of...
We normally rise at 4, so that you have clear head tomorrow morning, you tender everything, and then they cross-examine. We normally rise at 4.
As my Lord, please.
All right. So read the petition carefully. See whether it's consistent with human reason. Because allegation is very, very serious. And how many lives were lost? How many?
6 lives.
6?
Yes, my Lord. 6 lives were lost.
I'm sorry, we'll rise and then every other thing should be adjourned till tomorrow.